In today's episode, we're taking a look at some of the best plays from the world's 2025 MVP, Gumayusi. From his standout moments in play-ins against IG, all the way to the grand finals showdown against KT, we're showcasing the highlights that defined his legendary run. Let's dive in.
Okay, Way here with the 2 items, definitely painful.
Doran. He's going to look for the flank angle. There's a flash cataclysm to come on through. Finally, the knockup does come in now for Owner, who goes down to half health. Carrier trying to get himself out of there, and he will! Gumayusi gets a decent amount of damage, but leaves himself exposed and just blows up Way, who gets on top of him, but that's not where he wants to be. Great knock up there onto the Shy as Doran gets on in there. He's looking for Gala. The shockwave does not do enough, but he does take down Carrier. Fake is doing work though, and Mako is running for the hills. Doran cuts apart this Scion, and T1, it's a difficult comp to make work, but the world champ's looking pretty good with it.
The 3-tiered engage from T1, they will take them down, they will cut IG to pieces.
Yep, zapping down the wave is Guma though. And if we have a look at the CS margins between the 2 bottom laners, although one of them is missing, it is pretty close. Another Zenith Blade going to connect, but already a lot of damage onto Mako, but Faker is already dead. Ona gets the knock up and takes down the Leona in trade. Now Carrier and Gumayusi moving in as well. Wind becomes lightning, doing so much work, and the handshake holds onto the Shy. As now IG looking to turn it around. He's going to silence himself. Carrier gets taken out. They trade it for the rumble, then the bailout. It secures Owner his life, and he gets himself out of there. Gumayusi now trying to deal with Rookie, whose Way is getting a bunch of work done. The flash forward from Guma, he's crazy. And Rookie's going to be able to get himself out of it. Extra pressure available here for T1 as the Chu goes wide. And Snare is going to connect onto Owner, but damage onto the Xin Zhao isn't exactly the most permanent. Okay, the flash in from Owner, he finds the knock-up, they chase after Gala. Redemption, can it get the kill as Hostile Takeover comes up through as well? Gala surviving for a very long time. The flash forward from Gumayusi though puts him down, and Rookie will follow suit. Both carries in the blink of an eye, and this one is firmly in T1's hands now. He's going to be employed in the mid lane. And now Paranoia comes down yet again. The Shy in trouble once more as the Ram, looking for the knock-up, will be able to find it. The arrow from downtown connects from Gumayusi, and Faker is now able to close in as well. The Grand Skyfall comes in, the Mega Inferno Bomb, not quite enough as Owner just barely limping away. And now the fight is going to continue. Mako trying to throw out the CC. The Satchel's good as Gala's bouncing bombs aren't quite connecting. T1 still not able to quite find the fight, and now the re-engage from Mako as Faker is going to get executed, but Gumayusi's the problem. He flashes to create the space, and Gala, they've been ignoring him this whole time. Finally, they're going to move over as he runs out of mana, takes down Carrier, but he will die as a result. And Doran and Gumayusi walk away victorious. But yeah, we have Paranoia coming up very, very soon. And the Ash Arrow is 8 seconds away. I do not think it's Otacon time. Please let me breathe.
No way, buddy. Let's keep the action going. T1, they approach, they fire.
As Gumayusi's going to find it, and Rookie's going to get punished once again. It's being in a brush that's going to be their downfall, and it's Carrier that's able to get the last hit, but Gumayusi is kiting like a madman. Another wild growth. And T1, it feels like the same team fight that they won before. Well, they're going to go win it again. Being the likely outcome, but you best believe
they're
I will not be baited into expecting something, as the arrow is going to stop the back from Way, and now he's trapped. He's not going to be able to escape. He doesn't have the Grand Starfall, and now the jungler is going to be dead at 23 minutes and 50 seconds in the game. The Baron is up in a minute's time, and Way is not going to be able to get into position.
There's not a lot of room to work with for FlyQuest. The map is quickly going under T1 control.
All right, T1 trying to force their way further into the enemy jungle, but the Realm Warp into the immediate Pop Blossom. It finds Owner, but nobody else. Now Gumayusi under a little bit of pressure here on the side. Inspired goes into the Cataclysm, but Lucio's first to die. Owner still trying to get away. Flashes into the rush to buy a little bit more time, but Acathian Rain gets him. T1 still got more men. Quad in the middle of everybody, and he's cut down by the blades of Gumayusi. Whippos in the death realm for a little bit longer. He'll take out Carrier, but what about afterwards? There's no way to survive. A triple kill for Guma, and T1 team fighting takes them down.
Basu's still in his own body to create that play. He knows Mordekaiser ult just was used to kill off Owner, and so he goes in and he actually makes it a 1-for-1, allowing T1 to answer. But now, the Dragon.
Okay. Dragon started by FlyQuest, but immediately responded by T1. Another seismic shove, this time on Busio. Pop Blossom with no value. Chemtech Drake over to Gumayusi. Doran trying to get away. Busio at 100 HP. Gumayusi still looking to step forward. Nice shove there under quad, but they aren't going to kill him here just yet. Seraph's Embrace shield keeps him alive. Realm Warp for the defense. Masu's going to try to get away with that as Inspired uses EQ to get over the wall. Now a teleport coming in from T1. It's Doran looking to cut him off at their own tier 3 turret here in the bottom lane. The Weaver's Wall delays Quad and Masu, and now Doran stands between them and safety. Whippo's trying to help out his team as Quad looks to turn it around. They found a route on a Faker, and Quad takes him out. FlyQuest continued trying to get away, but Owner has arrived. His clone Cyclone kills Inspired, and Quad barely gets away over the wall. Owner's still looking as Whippo has to flash. Masu continues to run on the third, and Tofo Strike doesn't hit, but T1 still has the push.
T1 chasing them across the map, and now they're inside the base.
He only kills the support, and T1 just fights forward through the rest of the team.
Faker in an awkward position here.
Yep, tagged by the first Electro Harpoon. Exhausted now as he tries to fight back. Owner swooping in to protect his mid laner. Meanwhile, FBI's in danger. Killer Instinct defensively. Faker burning down. Dokla burning down. A little bit more damage from Flamespitter. Isn't going to get it done. Faker finds the first kill back in the Dokla. Gumayusi under pressure. He tries to sidestep away. A massive outplay from Gumayusi defensively with the feathers to buy a little bit more time. But he is shut down by River. It's still 3 for 1, favoring T1 as Quid and River are trying to get away.
Bottom lane, Alvaro going to take about 50% of his HP. Does have access to the redemption, but instead is just going to opt to reset. Herald used in the bottom lane as Owner finds Supa. Face first, pushes him back to the wall, immediately CC'd. Flash forward with the shockwave! Excellent teamwork, but Owner's still going to be able to find his way out. Now Guma's moving in. Ulti is going to connect, but it's Elyoya who body blocks. Elyoya with the crescent guard, but the snipe from Guma! Dead center right between the eyes to find the double as MCoy are now on the retreat, and T1 take the fight in the river.
Owner and Carrier are the only two around the Dragon Pit for now. TP coming in. Faker is ready to join back up with the rest of the team after purchasing the Crypt Bloom. AL starting up the Elder Dragon now. T1 watching on, waiting for the rest of the team to approach. Elder Dragon down to about 1/2 HP. Hope taking a chunk of damage. Doran charging in. Weaver's Wall over the top. Kael's going to be caught. A ton of burst onto the support of anyone's legend, and he's already down. T1 charge forward. Double kill to Gumayusi. Pressure onto Tarzan. Triple kill Guma. AL are cut to pieces, and T1 holds the sword. Flandra's last to die, and ace for T1 will be the end of game 1.
Great force there from T1. They use their wallet.
Coming out but no! It's Flandra with reinforcement from Shanks for the shield for the outplay to stop Doran in his
Wait a sec! Wait a sec!
Makes it a 1-for-1. Gumayusi from all the way across the map strikes true, and T1 starts the Drake.
Best in anyone's legend, but there's so many members on the top side of the map for T1, and they don't know Doran's here.
Yeah, Doran's still there. The call of the Forge God. The paranoia over the top. Hope tries to get away with the flash, but he's still caught up in the fear. He waits to use the cleanse. Hope locked up by the Ornn, but he gets enough distance. AL staying alive for now. Kael and Hope both get away. T1 goes in. Gumayusi with a killer instinct, but Hope still lives underneath the turret. Doran's going in with a bellows breath, and it's first blood over to Carrier. Kael tries to counterattack with Zenith Blade, but he does not have what he needs. Doran now the target. Shanks doesn't hit him with a chain. He's got to try to get away as Tarzan wants to kill Doran. Shanks still in the back part of the fight. Tarzan with a 3-man impale. T1 still trying to fight as Faker arrives in. Shanks down to 150, and the blooming burst from Carrier gets him. It's a 4-2 game, 8 minutes in, and T1 take the fight. Time to chip away at these tier 3s. Doran with a bellows breath to get through the claw. Flandra loses half his HP. The Mordekaiser's going to be your target. Here goes the Ornn Horn. They knock Flandra up into the air, but again, nobody under serious threat. Tarzan with an impale onto one, but he's about to die. He flashes away. Guma flashes in. Carry with a 3-man Pop Blossom will seal the fate of anyone's legend. Guma with a triple. Guma with a quadra. Only Flandra stands. Gumayusi finally dies, but AL will die with him. T1 will not go quietly. They will force down the Nexus turrets. They will move to the Nexus, and they will take us to silver scrapes.
As Flandre on the reset picked up his GA.
Okay, T1, they're moving into the river. They're taking total control now. Hope wants to grab the red buff, and Flandra needs to get back out and join up with the rest of AL here for the fight. Red buff secured. Elder Drake started, but so slowly. Flandra gonna move forward, try to clear away the control ward. They're going in after the Aatrox. They set him up with the arrow. Flandra has been caught at a critical moment. Over the wall goes Tarzan. Wild growth coming in from Kael. Guardian Angel will bring Flandra back, but where is the damage on AL's side? Doran into the back line. Kael is already down. Doran killed in response. T1 pushing forward. Shanks the next kill. Hope trying to kite. He needs to get away because T1 have won the fight 2-1.
Flandra is trying to reset and teleport back in. He's trying to link up with the team. The minions are here. They need to turn it. That's the teleport.
Okay, T1, they've got to understand this. Aatrox is probably their target. Flandra arrives. Solar Snare looking to lock him up. Owner taking a ton of damage. Hope is excited. Flandra's got the kill. Solar Snare on Hope, but it's not going to do any more. Flandra's going to try to get away. Goes back in here for the Q1. Tarzan wants to engage onto Gumayusi, but he cannot find him. Flandra over the wall. Wants Faker. Can't get the damage. Hope can't do it either. Gumayusi's still alive. T1 out team fight into Legend for another delayed ace. And T1 are looking for the end of the game. The Elders got 15 seconds left on it. T1 guiding the Baroned up minions toward the Nexus turrets. Solar Snare not hitting a target. Flandra and the rest of AL scrambling to try to defend. Nexus turret's down to about half HP. Owner takes some burst. Tarzan takes more. T1 looking for the engage. They found Flandra, but he gets away. Half HP on the front line of AL. T1 pushing forward. They've made their way on the Nexus. AL scrambles to defend. Doran can't do it. History is written by the victors. And yet again, T1 turns the page of the LPL. They will once again earn their place in the semifinals. Some patience, down to about 2/3 HP. Cream back over in the mid lane. Top Esports backing away. Remember, they still have their tier 1 turret down here in the bottom lane, and it still has a lot of health.
Top Esports knows something is up. They cannot find Owner, and they know that's an issue, but it's misses on the ult.
They wanted the public execution. They can't get Gumayusi. 3-man pop blossom from Paria, and Jackie Love's dead again. This time, his friends might just go with them. Gumayusi needs a little bit more as Kanavi chases forward onto Doran. The Trundle needs the kill, but he dies to the Cataclysm. Cream locked up by Faker. It's a Justice punch to the jaw, and Gumayusi knocks him out. Triple kill for the Kaisa as Hong's a fish out of water, and T1 get an ace for 2.
And the question starts to become, well, what do you do? It has been comfort across the board for
Legend. Dagda, because Betty, as you mentioned, back at the draft when we saw the Kaisa locked in, never mind, we don't have time. Jackie Love going after Gumayusi, who sidesteps the public execution and kills Jackie anyway. 369 wants the damage, and Guma's finally going to be shut down, but Top Esports lose their top laner. Now Owner's putting the pressure onto Cream and Hong, making more space as Faker lets blow the winds of war, and they will blow down Top Esports. Nobody's left alive. They might have got Gumayusi, but it cost them everything. T1, but they're wearing purple with a 9,000 gold lead and Soul Point.
I love that Jackie Love, even though he's got a 275 scoreline, he's 3 levels behind Gumayusi, still does not hesitate to press W towards T1. He knows that they will not turn this game around idly by.
Owner over the wall, immediately goes into the Cataclysm. Jackie Love under pressure as Gumayusi pops the Seeker, staying alive for now, needs a little bit more damage. Carrier swoops in behind him. Gumayusi's still alive. Top Esports is not. It's T1 with a full send.
T1 crashes down on Top Esports.
The last game they will play at Worlds 2025. They have not made it to the semifinals since 2020. It's been 5 years for Top Esports getting back to this point. They've never made it to the finals, and T1 wants to keep it that way. Faker's the target for Top as he tries to get the root to buy himself a little bit more time, but Faker is shut down. Cream's the target now for T1. Flashes over the wall, but Owner's ready to flash follow. Cream dies, mid for mid. Gumayusi with a flash forward, and he's putting arrows into Jackie Love's back. Jackie gets away with a Kimtech blast cone, but the rest of the arrows continue to focus fire. One more volley takes him out, and Gumayusi gets it done. Set up for a successful multi-lane push. So T1's just gonna keep going straight for the Nexus. Here comes the Grand Starfall, and Jackie's already down. Hung goes with them. The focus fire into 369 as Cream and Kanavi scramble to stay alive, but nobody on top Esports has anything to stop T1. It's only the mid laner left. They'll get the final kill. And yet again, the highest peaks of the LPL are merely stepping stones for the unkillable Demon King. Faker and T1 have set the stage for the World Finals Telecom War.
Often be the deciding factor together as KT, they might just full send in on Otacon, at least to get the TP out of Doran.
Understand the gamble that KT are in because T1 are collapsing, and in the meantime, waves are being deleted. It's costing KT hundreds of gold just to be here. And if T1 take the fight, it might just cost them the game.
Perfect has
sticking around, ready to get them away. The ulti not stacked up. Perfect going forward just a little bit longer. The Death Realm to come out. Owner going to respond with an ulti of his own, turning off the lights on this team fight between both lineups. Gumayusi and Perfect in the Death Realm, and Guma takes those. T1 focusing on the objective. Cleanse used from Keria. Heal on the way. Faker finding a bit more damage. BDD isolated. Hostile takeover going to connect onto BDD. It won't have much effect as Cuz tries to chase Faker out. But Dokdam, he might take Keria. But it's T1 taking the Otacon. Guma securing the objective.
And there it is, the second smite for T1 strikes again.
Cuz still eating a bit of damage. The poke from T1. A bit tough to deal with. You can see the pierce that lands onto Dokdam, taking that chunk of health. Flash in, full committal to the fight. Pillar to isolate Owner, redemption to heal Faker right back up. That's almost every single cooldown burned. It's on BDD to try to turn it back, but it's a split fight. T1 coming from multiple sides, collapsing as Owner moves in on top of Perfect. Dorn has been isolated in the Death Realm, but he'll manage to make it over. Flashback, absolutely jukes him. And now it's Perfect, caught in a 1v1 with Faker right as he comes out. He is stunned, but he won't be taken down. All of T1 in the pit. The spears stacked, smites available.
Faker's gonna teleport back. They're recalling Mordekaiser and the Anivia.
The fight just continues to go. 6K getting lower. Dokdam trying to get a bit of poke. Hostile takeover connecting. They don't have a cleanse. Devour from Peter is good, but it might not matter. Cuz continuing to move in. BDD waiting over the wall. The ulti is there, but they don't need to face him yet. The turn on to Faker. Is it enough? 3K. Cuz in the pit. At the end of the day, it does not matter because it is Doran to get the soul. KT might be able to get the fight, but there's too many members of T1 standing. Ocean Soul to T1 as everybody on KT falls.
And I am starting to hear some silver scrapes in my Telecom war.
Oh my God! T1 stand up, get the Ocean Soul, and they have made every person in this stadium stand up as well. Dokdam gets hit with the Keria ultimate immediately. Peter trying to bail him out. They're both so low they get pushed out. Then Doran blocking the Caitlyn ultimate, protecting Owner here as they try and kite back into the pit. Meanwhile, on the top side, BDD was running straight at them. Immediately gets deleted there by Keria and Faker on the other side.
And it's Guma skirting alongside the fight. And the fact that Faker, even though BDD got his ultimate off, hit him with the stun. So he didn't actually get to do the damage that he needed to, as the double fake out from Doran. In the MasterCard prize at the moment of the game, Ocean Soul secured for T1. When it comes to summoners for KT, and T1, call the T1 Baron. Gold leads there, Ocean Soul is theirs, and KT, we'll see if they can make something happen.
Owner and T1 have secured every single objective this game. Cuz moving in, but zoned away by the Storm from the side of the team. Berserk now onto Cuz, has to ulti. Owner using an ulti of his own just to try and disengage. Dorn, meanwhile, in the mid lane, happy to just continue fighting. Perfect going into the back line, looking to get taken down by Faker. He's in the Death Realm, but Faker's happy with the 1v1. Just in time, he gets out, and Dorn is there to seal the deal on the kill. KT desperate to get anything. They've already lost their top laner. The game rapidly slipping away.
They're trying their best to not let this game go to 5 as Doran still searching.
No flash for BDD, that crucial piece of CC and exhaust there. But Faker just waiting in the darkness. Guma stacking up the spears, the wall to zone KT away. Flash not there for Cuz either. BDD off on the side is going to use the ultimate. W in from Peter does absolutely nothing. T1, they see a vulnerable opponent. They know what they can do as they start to rip them to shreds. KT is not going to take a bear, and T1 reminding us why they are here, what they can do in a world final.
How important it is for them to stop the Soul from going down. 20 seconds, a TP into the mid lane. Maybe going to catch out Gumayusi here. But it's perfect. Again, this is the problem. No matter who TP's in, it's so effortless for T1 to just walk away.
Yeah, perfect. Guma is 2 levels up on the top laner.
Cuz caught out, isolated, immediate subjugate to try and stay standing, forced to flash back. BDD in the darkness! 3-man! But it's Doran to try to turn it right back! The ulti is decent, Carry wants to turn it back with the hostile takeover. The gold deficit is just too massive. Even a miracle, even an incredible angle was not enough in the face of this T1 lineup. The triple, the quadra, T1 bringing us to silver scrapes.
Guma lives the engage, and T1's hopes live in the grand finals.
And the Telecom war has never been this insane. World's Finals, Game 5.
Corner Faker here, the
I think they
TP's
get
used. T1 making the fast play happen. KT caught reeling, too far behind on tempo. Doran might have fallen in the previous play, but he is still damn powerful. Dom here. T1 pushing them back. It'll take a miracle for them to get this one out. Owner, Peter coming in for the lockup, but Owner manages to get the objective, the fight coming out. Fire rained over the wall by Gumayusi, and down goes Peter. BDD finally arrived. That's the ulti coming in the meantime. He needs a little bit more space. Dom, BDD untouched, but the front line has fallen. BDD, CC'd, knocked into the sky, and right back into the grave. T1, get Otacon, and ace KT.
A triple kill for Guma, and T1 do it! They take over!
Be enough to win the game. KT could choose not to fight here, but it looks like they're going to do so anyway.
T1, they need to have focus this time around. Last fight, they went for 2 angles at once, and they paid the price.
Flanks coming in. T1, entire topside missing Flash, that crucial cooldown, but their ultis will be there. 3 seconds on Doran. Gumayusi, the other player to keep your eye on as well. The ulti can do a lot of work. Doran going in, doesn't connect the hookshot wall dive, immediately CC'd. Exhaust coming in as well. Combo over the top from Guma! Finds 2! Exhaust is carrying, moves his way to the backline. Faker rains down from the sky, locks up BDD, and obliterates the hope for KT Rolster!
The bullet time will end the time of KT here at Worlds, as T1 will chase down Cuz and look for the Baron!
And now with the Baron spawning, relatively even setup, but again, it's the waves in favor of T1 that make this so hard, as immediately they're going to kick things off by going in on Cuz, taking away the Frost Armor passive. Lockdown from Carrier is there. TP in from Doran as well. Ulti's going across the board. BDD caught off the side. A good flash to take him out, and Guma has to be careful, but he's so damn fast. Owner, the lock up BDD. He goes gold in an extra 2.5 seconds to consider what went wrong, as T1 looks set to end it all.
They're gonna finish the job. It is Doran and Peter left alone in the mid lane, and T1 will ace them.
T1 earning their legacy again and again and again. There can be no doubting it. 4 players on the Rift today, making the impossible possible. Owner, Faker, Gumayusi, Carrier, and now Doran as well are world champions.
And the disbelief on his face. A teammate that so many have praised over the long years. Domestically, he's always been able to show it. As T1 find the free beat.
T1 world champions once again.
And they did it as the 4th seed. Again, they had to play in the play-ins, the newly created play-ins. Elimination right at the beginning of the tournament was faced.
Oh man, Doran lifting that trophy after all said and done. As Doran is Owner rather is flexing. One-handed lift as the GOAT in the 2nd prime of his career. Does it again.
T1 seemingly making a science.
오케이, 구마요시.
구마요시 선수 다시 한번 선수 축하드립니다. 축하드립니다. Congratulations, Gumayusi. Please give it up for the OPLo Finals MVP, Gumayusi.